I published a new blog post earlier this morning discussing my trades over the past few days. I am continuing to reduce my stock allocation some and sold my first recently purchased corporate bond maturing after 2030 that was bought earlier this year. I'm going to make an effort to do as little as possible with new investments in stocks and bonds until I have more clarity on what tariffs Trump will impose on August 1st. Bond and stock investors are assigning, in my opinion, a 0% chance that he will carry through with his tariff threats, including the 50% tariff tax on copper imports. Stock and bond prices currently reflect a consensus opinion that everything will work out just fine with minimal negative adverse impacts on international trade, U.S. exports to foreign countries, inflation, and interest rates. The U.S. imports about 50% of its copper requirements, and it takes a very long time for a copper mine to be built and to come into production. Some may take as many as 10 years to start production after commencement of the building of the mine. Copper is a metal that is essential in several industrial sectors, including new building construction, automobiles, and AI data centers. I discussed the importance of copper in my post today. I have noticed that U.S. copper imports have surged over the past several months, and inventory of copper is at record levels. This is an example of why it will take months for the 50% Republican tariff tax on copper to show up in the prices paid by consumers for products that use that metal. The 50% Republican tariff taxes on steel and aluminum imports, which are currently being collected starting on June 4, 2025, will show up in U.S. product prices paid by U.S. consumers sooner. Canada is a major exporter to the U.S. of all three metals, aluminum, copper, and steel. Trump justifies tariffs on Canadian imports under a law that required him to find those imports threatened U.S. national security. I do not see how a trade agreement with Canada and Mexico are even possible if Trump elects to continue collecting 50% Republican tariff taxes on steel, aluminum, and copper imports. And by the way, Chile and Mexico and Canada do not pay the Republican tariff taxes, contrary to the claims made by our president. CPI for June was released today. For the 12 months ending in June, CPI was reported at 2.7%, up from 2.4% through May. As previously discussed many times here in my blog and my YouTube videos, I am expecting the new Republican tariff taxes to show up gradually in consumer prices. The July and August reports will probably start to reflect increases due solely to the Republican tariff taxes. Core CPI rose to 2.9% for the 12 months ending in June, up from 2.8% through May. I will also include periodically a snapshot of a daily cash flow into one of my 4 taxable brokerage accounts. In today's post, I included snapshots of dividends, interest, and bond redemption proceeds credited in my Fidelity account today, July 15th, in item number 5. I have a constant stream of redemptions from Treasury bills and corporate bonds primarily. that occur throughout each week. I had 4,000 in corporate bond redemptions today in my Fidelity